Good morning, everyone. I needed to come back and get this. So you guys are on your own for a moment here. Gotta go feed the piggies. He threw this bucket right out here. This big bucket, picked it up, threw it out of his stall. Thank you. Yeah. He said, I got you started. Collected me a little bit of wood here. Gotta stick that somewhere where nobody trips over. That'll be my starter wood for the fire today. Well, also it's laying right in front of my path where I go out there to the piggies, who are now nicely nestled again in the chicken coop. And in the winter time, if I just leave that out there, I could slip on it, trip on it, and I don't want that. Right? That's right. Easy. So, reuse what's laying around, make it safer out there. Ta-da! Right, guys? Let's just give me a moment. I gotta put my gloves on. It's cold. Not as cold. Ozzy! Ozzy's standing right in front of the chicken coop, hoping to get in, get some of the goodies that I gave the piggies. He's eating. He's just, at least he's nicely waiting for them to finish what they want. Sorry, buddy. So today, what I want to talk about is something that happened in Japan. And I'm not talking about this, point the finger at anyone or this or that, or, you know, don't you dare. He grabbed my phone the other day. Nope. Yeah, he's getting his bowl. Yeah, okay. Now how am I going to get to that? Easy. Easy. Okay. It's more the accusations and the just rumors and I don't know what now, and the different stories floating around about why it happened, why it happened, and on how things are being pulled into it that, to me, okay, as it just, I wasn't a part of that. You know, I don't know exactly what happened there. Yet, I look at it, I look from the outside in, I'm going, wait a minute. Just from a logical standpoint, or a standpoint of, why would anybody even bring that up or mention it? And it has to do with the assassination of Abe, the President Abe. I think I'm saying it right. In a way, I've been saying Abe, and people go, who are you talking about? I said, well, that, Japanese president or prime minister, whatever he was over there in Japan. And they're going, oh, Abe. All right. In a way, I heard that he was a really liked person, liked president by his people there. So Abe Lincoln, or Abraham Lincoln, people called him affectionately Abe, right? So here we have another Abe who got Abe assassinated. So in a way, to me, it's just an endearing way of still honoring a person I didn't know, never even heard of before that happened, really, honestly. And but I see how he was liked, right? Oh, except for that one person. Yet, right? Again, there too, it's like that's just a weird thing on how that came to be, how that happened, and on how now that these stories floating around on who's responsible for it and who's under investigation, right? Over this one person. So that's what I want to talk about today. And more, my own observations on the whole thing, on where our attention is about that. Yes? Okay. So, this is what I know, okay? Being a part of, or at least have been for a long time, still am, I guess, in some capacity, a member of the Unification Church, the Family Federation for World Peace, which also exists in Japan, okay? And who now, the ones in Japan, the Family Federation for World Peace in Japan, now is under investigation over the assassination of their beloved leader. Because the guy who actually assassinated, which his name I don't know, who's assassinated, right, him, his parents were a part of that church. Chickens are away. Oh, I have beautiful hens. Well, I call them pullets when they're a certain age. They were raised here as babies this year. Beautiful little pullets growing up here. Just gorgeous. Beautiful, beautiful hen. And I see no rooster. They're all hens. That could be a rooster right there. One out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's not bad. I like that. Good. All right. So immediately the story came out on the reason, okay, that happened, that this guy did that is because his parents had been donating so much money, right, to their church. Really? So, what did this Japanese president, or prime minister, I'm sorry guys, I'm not sure which he was, kind of the same thing in a way, of Japan have to do with that? Abe. Sorry, I don't mean to be disrespectful here. As I said, Abe to me is kind of an endearing way of acknowledging the goodness of that person because of a president that we had here that also did a lot of good for this country, right? For the people, this and that. And he affectionately was called Abe. Okay. It's spelled the same, A-B-E. Okay. Right away I thought to myself, really? Well, that doesn't make any sense. I mean, regardless. Does it make any sense? So, who feels threatened by whom or what to make this kind of, make that stick? The guy was unhappy because his parents were donating a lot of money, it sounded like, to their own church. Then the story came out that he was, okay, it wasn't quite clear, and I'm assuming it was because over the last 20 years, his parents had given so much money to the church. So, or 20 years ago, right, they gave so much money to the church. I'm going, okay, man, first of all, get the story straight if you want to make it like that, okay? And the other thing is, so what does this guy, who obviously is not a child or even a teenager anymore per se, it's an adult, right, who knows how to make a gun, make one. He made one, okay? What's his beef with his parents? How come he hasn't... What's his problem that his parents are donating money somewhere they believe in? That's what they want to do. He didn't have to once he grew up. I mean, okay, so I'm not getting that. That is so weird. Okay, right there. I have to say, what? Well, you don't know how it works in Japan, blah, 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 this and that. Let me tell you something. When I hear things like that, I'm going, yeah, but I know Japanese people. I knew Japanese people 35 years ago. Okay, buddy, I'm coming. They haven't been out yesterday. Let me continue this here in a moment. All right, guys. This hay, this one bale here, they don't really, it's just the regular grassy kind of stuff. They're not all that. And I worked with some Japanese ladies together, fresh from Japan, by the way, okay? Found that their heart to mine, when it comes to certain things in history, is very clear on how, one day in and he's going nuts out there. Very clear to them on why they were doing what they were doing, basically dedicating their life, their time, their money to something that was important to them, not just to follow some leader, religious leader, but also knew the good that it would do for their own country. I said that, okay? I mean, you guys want to go and study up more on that in that church and how that all worked? Well, you do that. I don't have time to give you every detail. And these ladies, then you want to talk about stubborn. Not opinionated, but stubborn. And strong. They were strong, stubborn, and they could work, okay? And when they felt I mean, I could see that. I learned from them, right? To be consistent with something, right? And to do really the best that you know how. That's what I've seen. I didn't have much to do with Japanese guys, but Japanese ladies, man, those are some women. So if Japan wants to depict themselves per se as a weak nation with people in it, okay, that are weak individuals who don't know their mind and what they feel is important, or how to make a society whole, this and that, well, that's up to you, right? But if you come to me and you tell me that, then I have to say, well, that's not what I experienced with your own people. All right. Having said that, so I'm not sure where, if it's even, I see the posts, I do some of the reading, and I have enough. And I didn't go and, kind of in depth go and study that, because I felt I didn't need to do that. Because already, okay, that's the headline, read a few sentences, you come again, and I was done. I don't need to go and read up anymore. What I do know is that a beloved leader in Japan was assassinated, right, by a guy with a homemade gun. I know that. I know that's a fact. Right? All right, I'm sorry. That sounds to me like a crazy guy. A crazy dude who, for one reason or another, as I say, unhappy, his family or his parents donated money to a church. What, rather than give it to him? Sounds like was one of those guys, like every country has, who is non-productive, lazy, and needs someone else to blame for all of his problems. Sadly, some really, really crazies do that by hurting others. That's what I see. Case closed. So, I've talked in another video about bullying, this, that, and I gave some explanation on what happened within the Family Federation of World Peace after True Father passed away, Reverend Sun Myung Moon, on how the group split. Now, interestingly, because the one group who's very much into the freedom thing, this, that, Second Amendment, I don't know what, has taken it upon themselves now to make sure, to point that out against the main part, where Reverend Moon's wife is still, she's the head of the organization now, true mother, finishing up her path as Eve, restoration, this, now. Made sure to point that out on how, that's an accusation. The killing of that Japanese leader, is how that is connected to the Family Federation for World Peace. How could that be? Tell me how that could be. I know through the teachings of true parents, the divine principle, it says nowhere that if you're unhappy with a person, you go and take them out. Nowhere. The opposite is the truth. Yet, in that group, that freedom group, fighting very much for the Second Amendment, the brother has an arms factory, a weapon, making guns, stuff like that. They feel that's what? So I'm not just making this video again, just to, right? Yeah, it is for the public, but I will share it again in the group, because that is a way to take your mother down now, to smear a crime that an individual caused, supposedly because of donations the mom and the dad had made for 20 years or 20 years ago or today, right? To that organization, donations. As far as I know, nobody's ever been forced. Now, I don't know how the Family Federation for World Peace Japanese leaders are leading their people. Okay? That I don't know. But as I said, Japanese people, you don't just control them. Not today. Just saying. Using that, though, that's what they're doing, using that to blame True Mother for the killing of the Japanese leader. Basically, that's what they're trying to do. Okay? And every little thing is being brought up about that. Without, come on now, guys. I mean, I get it, but you're mad. You're upset at your own mom over, her saying, hey, you know what? Filial piety is a thing, and it's a big thing in our church, and you're not doing it. So I'm not going to give you that position yet. You were crowned for. Done. All right. The interesting thing, though, and I will bring that up, okay, if you want to pull stuff like this in, how about we go the other way? And again, I'm not making this to accuse anyone out there of the assassination or the greater, there had to be a greater organization behind or whatever, for the killing of that man, Abe. I'm not accusing anyone. I'm just saying, look at what kind of a hullabaloo some people are trying to make out there. And are you telling me that the Japanese government's going for that? Why? What for? What's the agenda here? Interestingly enough, just before that happened, that assassination, one of the brothers went to Japan, and there was a bit of a hullabaloo going on there, okay? Because in Japan, as far as I know, you can't just carry weapons, this, now. But that's their agenda here, that you keep the Second Amendment, that people have the right to bear arms. It's in the Constitution, this, now. Okay, now, wait a minute. I'm not saying, so they're ready to kill or this or that, and they're inflaming others to do so, blah, blah, blah. No, that's not what I'm saying. I kind of understand, not really all a lot, but from where they're coming from, I kind of understand what they're doing, and it's what they're doing, okay? All right? Are they a threat to me? No, absolutely not. Yet, every country, every organization, right, where you kind of stand for something, you're going to have people in it who take this to the super extreme. Like this one Japanese guy did. Who could it have been? After the visit of one of these brothers, and comes and talks about freedom and bearing arms, took it to the extreme, went home, made his own gun, and made his point. Not that other group's point, not that son's point, not that one. It's a crazy person who took, again, same thing he did with his parents. So was he unhappy about them giving money? Well, that's already, as I said, what is that any of his business? Right? But he took that, his own happiness needed an outlet. That was the outlet. His parents, right, being faithful and giving towards something they really believed in. And their son took it to the extreme with his own unhappiness to then assassinate a person who had nothing to do with it. And the way he assassinated him came also most likely from that group, right, here in the United States, who went to visit Japan just before. And that was all he needed. A crazy dude, that's what he needed. He needed confirmation that what he was going to do, wanted to do, maybe had thought about doing something, because he's unhappy, he's unstable. Okay? That has to do with your head. Heart to head. The guy wasn't all there. He's not normal. That's not normal thinking. But he took certain circumstances and then, right, did an atrocious thing. But the atrocious thing he did, killing an innocent person, that's just on him. That's the extremism of one person. So who are you going to blame out there? For what? And why? I find this interesting on how that suddenly in this group, because I saw the post again, going, really? That's how you want to fight? Within our own church? To use something like that? Where I have to say, okay, I could turn this around on you and blame you. That you were a trigger to this young man's unhappiness. You like that? Yeah, well, as I said, beware. When you point the finger at someone, most likely it's going to come back at you if you want to. So I'm saying this one more time before I finish up. I didn't make this video to be on one side or the other, or that's not, or accuse anyone or this or that. But I'd like to do, what I wanted to do is kind of clear things up, and even if it also needs to be for the Japanese government, and say, guys, come on now. What kind of okay, so you a crazy dude decided to do something because the knowledge for it was out there, and that was a very devastating thing. Yet, what's the vendetta, the agenda of that particular thing? Where is that being taken? Then sadly, I also have to look at this and go, it's a beloved leader. And now he's being used to what? Bring something down? Or drag something into court that has nothing to do with it, really, when it comes down to it? I'm just saying. Right? To blame one's own parents for being kind giving and realizing something that they wanted to do in their life that maybe would help their whole country by their sacrifices, this, that. Yeah, okay, money, time, this, that. But nothing bad. Donating money is a bad thing? Since when? Man, we're going to have a lot of court cases going then. All around the world. That's ridiculous to me. And anybody else out there should look at that and go, that's ridiculous. To blame the organization that the parents at the church gave the money to, right? That's or to start investigating the branch that is in Japan of it. That's ridiculous. Unless you're all willing to read the divine principle, right? And then come back and tell me, well, it says right in there, and that could have influenced him, you won't find anything. And I think then suddenly shift, or as I said, that group wants to shift and accuse, yet, right? And really pick up on what someone else picked up to make some kind of a vendetta. I don't think it's them, but they sure picked it up against True Mother or the church in general, right? But they picked it up and they're happy to see, oh yeah, ho, ha, ha, ha. But the thing is, you should look and see what your involvement in that may have been as well. Just been there, talking about what? Riling this young man up for what? Not on purpose, I get that. And to put any kind of blame on you, that's ridiculous too. Because that young man had its own mind to do things. All right. I had my say, right? Yet, I also have to say that it's a two-edged sword when you carry one, are willing to carry one. All right? Yes? All right. Well, my prayers go out to everyone. I would like, just from the little I've read this snap, people can come and say, well, that's not true. Actually, this Albay guy was a really bad guy and people just didn't know or whatever, Okay, well, that's not what I'm getting. No way. It was all a beloved leader, done good for his people, well liked. So I would like to keep honoring that. And in a way, as I said, Abe, okay, that's me, spiritual me. I think he's here with me, trying to say, I don't want my death to become something out there that now suddenly that's being used, like in a vendetta against others who had nothing to do with it. Yes, he did. I heard that, but I don't know. I've never heard of it before. That he did support the Family Federation for World Peace. In my opinion, why wouldn't anyone? Okay, I can't have anything to do with that other group. I don't. It's just not my thing. But they have their place in the world too. But as far as the Family Federation for World Peace, you go and look at what they all do, this, that, and again, everybody has their crazies, right? Yes? And that they don't represent the whole. They don't. And one should know that. And according to that, one should look at the whole situation and go, yeah. No, we're not going to go and start persecuting other people over this, who have absolutely nothing to do with it. All right? Did I make myself clear? I needed to do this. As I said, Mr. Abay might be right here with me. He is here with me. Happy I did this. Again, see? He's still looking out for his people, even from spirit world. Thank you. That's a beautiful thing too. All right. God's love and blessings always. Now we'll talk to y'all another time.